Today we're diving into one of the most impactful assets for our city and state, the Charlotte Douglas International Airport.
Yeah, that's right, Jim. Charlotte Douglas is not just an airport, it's a cornerstone of the economic and social growth for Charlotte and the entire state of North Carolina.
Originally opened in 1935 as a smaller municipal airport, it was later renamed in honor of Ben Elbert Douglas, a former mayor of Charlotte. Since then, it has evolved into the largest economic engine in the state, with an annual impact of $32 billion.
$32 billion, that's a staggering number. The airport's influence extends beyond just Charlotte as it supports over 220,000 jobs statewide and drives economic growth across the region.
In 2023 alone, nearly 50 million passengers passed through the airport, which makes it the fifth largest airport in the world.
And let's not forget about the cargo, right? The cargo. More than 200,000 tons of cargo is shipped through the airport just last year, supporting business and industries all across the state. This really is crucial for companies relying on timely deliveries and logistics with Amazon and FedEx and other companies alike.
Another real point of pride for the airport is it's American Airlines' second largest hub. This brings more flights, more passengers, and more economic activity to the city. The airport actually handles 1,600 flights daily, connecting Charlotte to over 175 destinations worldwide.
And it's not just about business. The airport is deeply involved in the community. They have a run called the Take the Runway 5K, for example. Last year it raised almost $250,000 for youth opportunities within the airport and engaging and supporting our local community.
The airport's even expanding further with the construction of a fourth parallel runway. This project is crucial for meeting future demand and ensuring the airport remains a top-tier airport around the world. The new runway will increase the airport's capacity by over 25%, which is going to reduce delays and improve efficiency.
And while the construction required the removal of the old airport observation park, which people loved, there are plans for a new one and a more formal outlook park once the runway is completed. So plane enthusiasts, you don't need to worry. The new park will offer an even better view as well as facilities and a museum.
The evolution of the airport from a small municipal airport to a critical economic powerhouse is truly remarkable. It's a testament to our city's growth and vibrancy. And did you know that the airport also has a significant environmental program? They've implemented various sustainability initiatives, including reducing greenhouse gas emissions and enhancing water conservation.
Yeah, and the airport, it contributes in that sustainability aspect, but to the economic aspect of the city, but also prioritizes the environmental responsibility, as Jim mentioned. Another interesting fact is that the airport terminal, which has undergone significant expansion over the years, now covers more than 2 million square feet, featuring modern amenities and services for all travelers.
And it's had a huge impact on the tourism. With nearly 50 million passengers coming through, as I mentioned, the airport plays a vital role in promoting Charlotte as a tourist destination. This influx of tourists supports local businesses, hotels, attractions, further boosting our economy.
Yeah, and just to put a pin in that, the airport has a strong alliance with the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority, working together to attract major events and conventions to the city. This collaboration really helps position the city of Charlotte as a premier destination for both business and leisure travelers.
As we continue to grow, the airport will undoubtedly be at the heart of our progress. It's an asset that connects us to the world and drives our city forward.
And the airport not only connects people and business, but it also plays a pivotal role in Charlotte as a thriving, dynamic city, from its economic impacts to its community involvement. Charlotte Douglas is truly a cornerstone and an asset, to your words, for the city.
That's right. And I know we wanted just kind of hit a couple of key things.
Yep.
about the airport. You had a question
Yeah,
for me earlier.
I've heard, and maybe some of our viewers have thought this or heard this as well, that sometimes the ticketing prices for flights out of Charlotte Douglas, the prices can be a little bit exorbitant. Do you have any kind of thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do. I mean, that issue has existed for quite a while in Charlotte. We were a hub for U.S. Airways before they were purchased by American, and I mean, here's the reality: is that we have more direct flights in and out of Charlotte than this city alone could support if we weren't a hub. The Charlotte Airport is American's gateway to the Caribbean, they call it. And so think of all the people who are flying American who are going down to the Caribbean, right? If we didn't have that, then we would lose those economic dollars. We lose that exposure to the city. On top of, I mean, for those of us who live here, it makes, like, as you know, we have family in Alabama, and Beth and I fly in and out of Birmingham. They have 5 direct flights there a day.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have that if we weren't a hub. They might have one, something like that. So, quite frankly, I'm okay paying a little bit more to be a hub, personally. And then the other thing, and we spoke about this earlier in the video, is that having a vibrant, large airport like that brings in events, right? Like we've had a, was it the I can't remember whether it was the Democrat or the Republican convention, or I guess we've had both. The other issue, and we talked about this earlier in the video, was that the size of our airport has a significant impact on having events in the city, like the political conventions that we've had, some of the sporting events, hosting NCAA regionals, all those things that the city has bring more dollars, right? They support the businesses. It increases the tax base.
Yeah.
And so we can't ignore that reality. There's a give and take there.
Yeah. And one thing I'll ask you about, which I know is something that you love, is one thing that I think the Charlotte Airport does specifically very well is lounge access. They have both an American Airlines lounge, 2 of them. One is very large, one's a little bit smaller, and then a Centurion lounge, which is a great break from the hustle and bustle of a large airport.
And a Priority Pass lounge.
And a Priority Pass lounge, that's right. There's probably even another one that I'm forgetting, or there will be a new one at some point. But in terms of value to the travelers and to the city, what do you think about those lounges?
Well, I think they're great for the frequent traveler, the business traveler, which is who makes up the bulk of the money that airlines generate is from the business traveler or the frequent vacation travelers. And so, and I know that I love the American lounges, particularly the one there at the entrance to the Sea Concourse.
Yeah.
It's super nice, and it's really nice to have access to that when we show up early to the airport.
Yeah, agreed. Well, Jim, I know that there's been a massive renovation taking place at the main terminal. When you arrive at the airport, you travel a little bit more frequently than I do. Where do we stand with that renovation? What does it look like when you arrive? What can travelers expect?
It's still ongoing. I think it's not supposed to be done until sometime next year, like any construction project. I'll be amazed if that happens, but it's been really fun to see some of it actually. Travelers being able to enjoy it. For example, they've got an all-new TSA pre-check, and they've got one big one, kind of like Denver does, as an example. And so no longer are these 2 lines, and you don't know which to go in over the A concourse and then or the D and E. It's really solid. I've used it several times. Some of the new baggage claims have opened up as well, which are a lot easier to access and to use. There have been a few new restaurants that have opened up, and you're starting to see they're still working. One of the more significant parts is the check-in, the ticketing areas, and they're starting to sort of unveil those. But there's still a decent amount of stuff left, and it's a little bit of hassle, but people just need to be patient with it.
Well, it does look a lot prettier than it did prior, and as construction is, hopefully coming to an end sooner rather than later, you can see it at least taking shape. You don't need a complimentary hard hat to come with your ticket to leave town anymore.
No, that's exactly right. And I'll just give you a pro tip, something that both Jordan and I do is we don't park on property for half the cost of taking Uber to the airport and from the airport. You can park at places like the Parking Spot, Park and Go. There may be others. We both really like Park and Go a lot, and you pull up. If you've made a reservation ahead of time, you scan your phone. They tell you where to go park, and literally, oftentimes before I've even got my bags out of the car, here's the shuttle. The guy helps us get our bags in, and they take you down to a designated spot in the kind of the basement level, the baggage claim area, and then that's where you pick it up again.
I'll just have to say too, the parking spot is a game changer. Whether you're traveling alone, with a family, whatever, you pull your car up. Like he said, they're literally there to pick you up basically as you're pulling your bags out of the car. They get your bags, they put them in there, they give you bottles of water, all that kind of stuff. And if you're wondering if you're somebody with a young family, if Park and Go or Parking Spot would be a great thing for you to utilize, I personally use Park and Go, and it is wonderful. Being able to pull up in your very own car, park, have somebody get your bags and help you get your children onto a little bus to take you over to the airport.
Get car seats in and pack and plays and all that.
All that stuff. It is a huge help. They literally drop you at the door. It's just less hassle of having to carry bags and take them places, and that's a huge help. Not to mention they give you a bottle of water when you hop on or hop off, which is great, and they're always very courteous. So that's a great pro tip, is to use the parking spot.
That's right.
Or Park and Go, excuse me.
Or Park and Go. We like Park and Go better. The Parking Spot, the shuttles don't run as often is what we've noticed. But hey, thanks for watching today. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, we'd ask you to do that and like this video, and we'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you next week. That's right. Thanks. Bye.